This is Tokyo, once a city of 6 million people.
Da 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 da. A Godzilla, Godzilla, Godzilla. Godzilla, Godzilla, Godzilla. A Godzilla, Godzilla, Godzilla. A Godzilla, Godzilla, Godzilla. A Godzilla, Godzilla, Godzilla. Godzilla, Godzilla, Godzilla. A 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 Godzilla, Godzilla, Godzilla. Godzilla, Godzilla, Godzilla. A Godzilla, Godzilla, Godzilla. A Godzilla, Godzilla, Godzilla. A Godzilla, Godzilla, Godzilla. Godzilla, Godzilla, Godzilla. A 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 Godzilla, Godzilla, Godzilla. Godzilla, Godzilla, Godzilla. A Godzilla, Godzilla, Godzilla. A Godzilla, Godzilla, Godzilla. A Godzilla, Godzilla, Godzilla. Godzilla, Godzilla, Godzilla. A Godzilla, Godzilla, Godzilla.
Okay, I got my Jack Specific Godzilla 2019 figure because basically in this video I'm going to be talking about Godzilla King of Monsters. Okay, Godzilla King of Monsters. This is not a review, but I want to talk about the backlash with Godzilla King of Monsters. Okay, was Godzilla King of Monsters a Godzilla movie? Yes, it was. Oh my gosh, it was a Godzilla movie. And lines like this, oh my god, Godzilla. Okay, let's talk about Godzilla King of Monsters. I want to talk about in this video about was Godzilla King of Monsters such a bad movie that they had to give it. It probably got a higher score than Dark Phoenix did though, and it had a lackluster opening. But at one point it actually beat Aladdin. It actually beat at top of John Wick 3, Parabellum. So I could say that's not too bad. That's not bad for a Godzilla movie. Okay, I'm gonna do a quick spoiler review about this movie. So basically, Godzilla is a apex predator, and he comes back in this movie to stop King Ghidorah, another apex predator who's been in hibernation in the Arctic and wants to not only take over the world, but destroy the world by using other kaiju, other titans on here, they're called, to form a new world. And he wants to basically, that's what this movie's about. Is this movie a Godzilla movie? Yes, it is. Oh my. I love this movie. And you don't have to be a Godzilla fan to like this movie. This movie, my friends, for one scene between Godzilla fighting King Ghidorah that looked, that the CGI, I don't know what they were, I think they were asleep at the wheel with that part. But other than that, what I liked, this movie kind of did bring back memories of Garrett Edwards' movie Godzilla 2014, as it's called. So basically, Godzilla 2014 was the start of the MonsterVerse because all we got is Godzilla 2014, Kong Skull Island, and now we have Godzilla King of Monsters. So basically, Godzilla is fighting for supremacy to be that the king of the monsters. And we have Mothra, we have Rodan on here, and we have the other titans. This movie being directed by Michael Dougherty. I didn't pronounce that right, but so this guy has a knowledge what it takes. Okay, have Godzilla movies ever been about the characters? No, they have not. If you watch the Showa, the Heisei, the Millennium, have they ever really been about the characters? All except maybe for a little moment in Godzilla 2014 with Bryan Cranston. Has it ever meant anything? So when I go see a Godzilla movie, I'm going to see Titan kaiju monster action, I'm not gonna go see. I'm not there to watch a bunch of people talk about politics or military actions they're gonna whatever it is they're gonna do and what it has to do with our environment. No, I go to see Godzilla do what he does best, and that's put on a damn good show for me and audiences. And that's what I got in this movie. So Godzilla, it shows okay, they're in a world where the humanity has to come to terms that there are titans out there, and King Kong is on this movie. They show clips of him. They show a clip of the Mutos. They show clips, of course, of Godzilla, and then so the family on this movie, uh, Vera Farmiga and Kyle Chandler and Millie Bobby Brown come into mind, but they're basically a family that lost their son Andrew Russell when got the first Godzilla's first rampage when he battled the Mutos, and now they're just dealing with the loss of it, and which leads, I guess, a divorce, if you will. And Billy Bobby Brown, the young girl Madison, is kind of it's just your basic, you know, what happens, when a couple breaks up or something like that. And really, there is some good human drama on here, and I'm talking basically the Russells are what helps this movie really, and also Monarch, it takes is on here, and it's a very important character arc for this movie because if without Monarch, we don't know. There's no character motivation. There is no reason. There is exposition on this movie. People telling you what Godzilla is, what the Titans are, why they're coming here, why are they fighting for dominance or whatnot, and that is explored on this movie. But so Vera Farmiga is abducted by eco terrorists, played by Charles Dance, and he's to unleash the Titans. So, and then at first I kind of thought he was going to be the main villain of this movie, and it turns out that Emma is actually the main villain of this movie at first, and so she reluctantly at first it looks like she unleashes King Ghidorah, and the biggest complaint, of course, about the last Godzilla movie, was because there was not enough Godzilla. Does this movie have enough Godzilla for us? Yes, it does, because I spoke to a lot of people. I know a lot of people that said, yeah, this movie has a lot of Godzilla, and that's awesome, and that's what we're here for. Because forget the human drama, forget we want to see action set pieces. We want to see scale in this movie. Do we see does Godzilla look gigantic on this movie? Oh heck yeah, he does. It looks completely awesome. It looks believable. It looks he still moves. He still kind of lumbers. He still kind of walks because he's 393 feet, almost 400 feet tall in this movie. So if something that big is walking, it's not going to move fast. There is a part where you guys seen in the trailers where Godzilla actually does run towards the fight King Ghidorah, but that is actually the only part where you actually see that happening because it's not like Godzilla really has any agility, basically. Let's not kid ourselves here. This is basically what would happen if there was a Godzilla in our world, and this is what basically what the director tried to convey on this movie. What would happen? What would the Titans do to our world? They would destroy it. What else? And a lot of people die on this movie. Yes, that is true. But so basically, probably the problems mean nothing to me about the human drama really because, like I said, if you watch old Godzilla movies, the human drama is just not there. There's some story, there's some motive. There's story. There's just some I don't know. Did I ever watch a Godzilla movie for that? No, I didn't. So, is Godzilla King of Monsters a good movie? Yeah, of course it is. It's not just because I'm a die-hard Godzilla fan. It's not just because I grew up on Godzilla. Pretend I never even heard of Godzilla. Um, if I saw this movie, I still would have liked it. I still would have thought it was a good movie. I still would have, saw it again. I've seen it twice already. Probably gonna see it for a third time. So, is Godzilla King of Monsters a good movie? Yes, it is. Okay, and I want to talk about before I sign off. So, is this movie a Godzilla movie? Yes, it does. It has all the elements of it. It has the monster brawls, uh, awesome action, devastating action sequences. But probably, yeah, one of some of the main problems of the film is because I don't know why they chose to put rain and fog into the film, and especially in the Arctic scene. But you do actually see Godzilla and King Ghidorah and the other monsters fighting. And I want to talk about the Titans real quick. Rodan was awesome. That part in Mexico, that I I want to talk about also. This movie was actually supposed to be 3 hours long, so what we got was 2 hours and 12 minutes. So probably one of the biggest problems of this movie, it's the same problem that Batman versus Superman had because originally that movie was supposed to be around 3 hours long, and what we got, and that's also what happened to Justice League. So this movie really suffers. What it really suffers from is because lack of runtime. Because originally it was supposed to be 3 hours, and oh, yeah, I would have loved to see this because I sat through Avengers Endgame. That's like 3 hours long, and I'm not kidding around. You know, I don't. That's gonna do a whole, you know, prostate. So, so lastly, I just want to tell you guys that Godzilla, King of Monsters, was a Godzilla movie. It is the Godzilla modern Toho American slash Godzilla movie we have been waiting for because Mothra was awesome. Mothra kind of reminded me a little bit of something I would have seen on Lord of the Rings or Harry Potter, even though I'm not a Harry Potter guy. So, but I know Harry Potter and King Ghidorah. King Ghidorah kind of reminds me of that dragon from Desolation of the Smog from the Hobbit movies. Excuse me, but the designs of the creatures, and I want to talk about a little bit about Kong. How does Kong play? How is Godzilla and King Kong? Because there is also a very important story arc here. Orca is it's basically a device that it's able to read or communicate with whales, and they use this device to awaken King Ghidorah. They use this device to awaken Rodan, and they use this device to control Mothra at the beginning. And that was a very important aspect of this movie that was explored. So it was important to the storyline, and I really think that Godzilla King of Monsters is not that bad. I don't think it's. I mean, did I ever? I know I said that Godzilla King of Monsters would knock off Avengers Endgame. Actually, John Wick 3 did that. So my video I talked about, and it's probably the highest viewed and liked videos I've had in a while on this blog, and I appreciate you guys for that. Awesome, you guys are awesome. Thank you so much. Um, yeah, of sorts. I was right about this. That Godzilla King of Monsters would be the king of the box office, and at the moment, Godzilla was the king at the box office, and because Aladdin was not able to topple him, and this movie called Ma, I didn't watch that, but so. And how does it set up Kong versus Godzilla? There is a lot of there's 17 Ken Watanabe. I wanted to also talk about real quick about a couple of movies that are mentioned on here. Dr. Serizawa, the original Godzilla King of Monsters, actually from 1954, had Dr. Serizawa. And how did he die? He died when he used the oxygen destroyer to kill the original Godzilla. And on here, the oxygen destroyer is used on here, and Godzilla is not killed, but he's actually taken out for a while. And Dr. Serizawa uses a nuclear bomb to bomb Godzilla, and of course that is why we have Godzilla, because he's made up of nuclear material. That's how he came to be this city-sized Titan. So and I also want to talk about another movie that's mentioned on here, Destroy All Monsters, because at one point Emma unleashes the rest of the Titan. There's a scene where they're going all over the world and causing destruction everywhere. There's Ken Watanabe, Dr. Serizawa mentions there are 17 Titans. Count them, 17 Titans. and counting is what he said. So there's actually more than that. And we see at least 4 more Titans on this movie, and a couple and more on these photos. They're kind of a little bit. You kind of catch them a little bit. They're not. They're not on there long enough to really notice it unless when you guys buy. If you guys buy this on DVD or Blu-ray, where you guys can find out. And there's also another film mentioned on here. Because we have the Oxygen Destroyer, which is also on the movie Godzilla vs. Destroyer, and Godzilla becomes Burning Godzilla. Burning Godzilla over there, big guy over there. That was awesome. I really think that was a great idea. So there is references to Godzilla King of Monsters from 1954, not this Godzilla King of Monsters. I don't know why they didn't name it something else, but it kind of actually fits it because this is basically what Godzilla's fighting on here for the whole point of this movie. He's fighting for the throne to be the king of the monsters and be the #1 apex predator on the top of the food chain on this movie. So, and he's fighting for dominance against King Ghidorah, another apex predator. So, and there's actually a writing on an old writing, just like we saw in Kong Skull Island. We saw Rodan, we saw King Ghidorah, we saw Godzilla fighting King Ghidorah, and on here we see an old writing on here of Kong and Godzilla. So basically, it's kind of a reference to the original King Kong versus Godzilla, but it's not actually King Kong versus Godzilla. So cluing us in that an actual battle did take place before Godzilla versus Kong, which is coming out next year. So that gives us a clue what's going to happen. And I kind of think, before I sign up this video, I'm going to tell you guys what I think is going to happen in Godzilla vs. Kong. But this movie intentionally was tongue-in-cheek. So some of the lines on here, especially by one of the scientists from Monarch, was really stupid. But let's be honest with ourselves, especially Showa, the old Godzilla movie. There was laughable dialogue. There was hilarious acting because those movies were dubbed, for crying out loud. These movies were dubbed. You know what I mean? So what do you think you're gonna get what you want when you watch a Godzilla movie? Do you watch a Godzilla movie for the acting? No, you do not. We watch it because we want to see Godzilla do what he does best, and that's fight other monsters and destroy. And I'm gonna tell you guys how he destroys King Ghidorah. Also, I'm gonna tell you basically because this movie is a PG-13. If it would have been rated R, we might have been able to see what happens. So basically, when Godzilla comes back as Burning Godzilla, and keep in mind, his whole body is actually burning up because he actually has a lair on this movie. It is underwater city with humongous statues, and there is actually a volcano or some kind of chasm at the bottom where Godzilla is resting on the floor before Dr. Serizawa sets off the nuclear bomb and actually increases Godzilla's power again and powers him up again, basically. So Godzilla devours King Ghidorah because he loses to King Ghidorah twice in this movie. At first, he's not able to stop him, so Mothra helps him. She helps him regenerate with her energy, and Mothra on here is known as Queen of the Monsters. I mean, like I said, do you go to see these movies for real logic? No, you don't go for the entertainment value. You don't go watch Godzilla movies that they're actually, for realism. We go there because they're fantasies, they're not real. We're there to have a good time when we go see them. So that enables Godzilla to become Burning Godzilla, and he devours. He basically swallows King Ghidorah. At first, at their first battle, he does what looked like to me either a Roman Reigns Goldberg spear or a RKO out of nowhere from Randy Orton. It was a really awesome scene, and so he swallows King Ghidorah, and you could at the first battle, or the second battle, I'm sorry, he bites off one of the heads, and the heads of King Ghidorah and all the monsters, by the way, have their own personalities on this movie. It's kind of funny when you think of it because they don't talk, so that would be too much, and that would be too much cheese for me. Even though I thought that was really hilarious and kind of cute on the old show era, what they did with that. But so basically, King Ghidorah has personality. All three heads have different personalities. So when Godzilla swallows him up, he basically swallows him, and all you see one of the heads sticking out, and you see his dorsal plates light up. He gets that blue luminescent, and he basically uses his heat beam, and it finally puts an end to King Ghidorah and destroys him. And at the very end, where you see all the Titans. At first, I kind of thought the Titans there was going to be more battles in this movie because there's at least 4 Titans that visit or are going there to pay their respect to Godzilla, and Godzilla does this really cool victory roar at the very end. It's pretty awesome. I love that. I would have liked to see more action. I would have liked to see what Godzilla would have did to those creatures, but so basically he's the champ. He's the top dog, the top cheese, head honcho, el numero uno, el capitan. He's the king of monsters, guys. All right. So, and this has a post-end credit scenes with head of King Ghidorah that was recovered by some type of, I don't know who they are exactly, because the eco terrorists are actually retreating, and they find one of King Ghidorah's heads inside this cavern that was basically on here. It's kind of like a Pacific Rim uprising thing going, because they're able to use let's just say one of the Titans is deceased. They're able to use any of these Titans in the black market. It's kind of like what happened on Pacific Rim Uprising. So there's like a Pacific Rim a black market for selling dead corpses of Titans on here. So okay, tell me what you think about this review. And yes, Godzilla King of Monsters, you should go see it. I mean, this is the Godzilla movie we've been waiting for to see. I've been waiting for a good American Godzilla movie, because keep in mind that atrocity with Matthew Broderick from 1990. Oh my gosh, that was awful. I can't. And we finally Americans did a good Godzilla movie, man. That's pretty sad that the last couple of attempts by Toho to make a good Godzilla movie have failed miserably with Shin Godzilla and the Godzilla Monster Planet, the anime Godzilla films that just came out not too long ago, and have been very lackluster. Even though Shin Godzilla, it was alright, and we finally got a good Godzilla movie, and I'm very pleased at it, and I had a great time watching it. All right, you guys, tell me what you think about this video. If you guys got any opinions or comments about what I do on this vlog, and just basically because guys, your opinion matters. Thank you so much for everybody who's subscribed, or everybody who's commented. I'm gonna give this movie an oh my, you're getting it not bad rating, because for crying out loud, I can't believe they actually did a good Godzilla movie in America. All right, you guys, thank you so much once again for watching my Godzilla King of Monsters prediction video that I did not too long ago. Thank you so much for all the likes and all the views.